Good morning, dear friends. Good time of the day, wherever you are. Thank you for being with us today on our Health Wave podcast. Today, we will be talking about food as medicine. What does it mean exactly that food is medicine? What kinds of foods are considered to be medicine or can be medicine? We will cover the future of medicine. Where is the modern medicine headed? And a lot of other different things, health tips for daily living. We will talk about farmers markets and CSAs and natural products. So we have several special guests with us today. I would like to share with you. I would like to share a few pictures with you of Freddy Schwartz, our today's guest. So he's an athlete, organic whole food plant-based advocate, and the dedicated godfather of two wonderful boys that I'm sure he'll tell us about. So, and these are just some of the things that he engages in. So, probably one of the most athletic people I know. So, Freddie, have you always been this way?
Well, I've always been athletic. So from a young age, really enjoyed cycling. That's kind of like where it started. Um, I'll give you a little story. When I was about in fourth grade, we lived in Arlington Heights, and we wanted to go ride down to Chicago. So we would tell our parents, one person would say, well, I'm going to have lunch at my friend's house. And then I would say, I'm going to have lunch at this friend's house. And then dinner. So we were able to go ahead and get away with the whole day. So,
Wow.
so we rode all the way down to Chicago.
Of course, you didn't have cell phones at that time, so
Oh,
parents couldn't really track you down.
No, there was no checking in. No, we were on our own. We made it down to Chicago, to the lakefront, and made it back. No maps. We just knew to go east, to go to the lake, and go west to come back. So it started a lot with cycling for me, and that's kind of like where I guess I would say my physical fitness or exercise came in, and then from there it was baseball, basketball, running, kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, mountain biking racing. So I've always had that in me, to be, I would say, very adventurous and be an outdoor person and not be like an indoor person. I always felt I had ease, being outside in nature, regardless of what I'm doing. Even I'm just sitting in the backyard and just, listening to the birds and, listening to the wind and the leaves. So yeah, always been an outdoor person.
Beautiful. So that's actually, as we know from the conversation with Dr. Nature, physical movement dynamics is what helps to move your lymph, and that helps to move the energy around. And this is what provides you with longevity.
Yes.
But Freddie, tell us please, how did you become plant-based? So what inspired you and what benefits did you start to experience?
Well, there's a couple different steps to that. And, when I was growing up, it was meat and potatoes, not that much vegetable, a lot of milk, poultry, and so that was, when I was young like that, your body can go ahead and kind of like process it and kind of like you're kind of like okay with it, although really you're not. It's just because I think your body is young. It's just expelling things so quickly that it doesn't realize, what the harm that it's doing. So I, in a way, started my journey through being athletic and being adventurous. And what I mean by that is I was listening to a podcast. It was a ritual podcast. It was about 8-9 years ago. And he is an athlete. He is voted, I think, the top 10 athlete back then in the world. He's just fantastic. I found him really interesting. And he is a vegan. And he was talking about how when he became a vegan, that if he would train one day really hard, well, actually, before he was a vegan, if he would train really hard, regardless of what he did, the next day would be like a recovery. You know, you kind of like, oh, I can't go out and cycle again. You know, I need to go ahead and rest. My body's tired. But when he became a vegan, he said the next day, he said he felt fine. You know, he's able to go ahead and do those same type of things without feeling, you know, really tired and, you know, kind of fatigued. So in a roundabout way, that kind of led me on my journey because it was involved with fitness and, you know, being outside. So I slowly started to become, I would say, plant-based. That's kind of like what I call myself. I don't like to put myself in a camp because you got all these camps now. You got keto, you know, you got vegan, vegetarian. I don't even know all the rest of the names, but you know, I have
Do a lot, yes.
yeah, you know, so everybody has their own. You know, I think I don't like to categorize myself into one particular camp, but I would say I am, you know, primarily plant-based. So once, and this is interesting because I'll coincided with Purple Sprout because I was looking to become a vegan or, you know, more plant-based. And at that time, I was working at Allstate Insurance Company, which was down the street from where Purple Spot was. And I would just start going there for lunch. Pretty much became like an everyday thing. Go there for lunch and get smoothies, and you know, got to know the wonderful family. You know, just wonderful people. And that's how, like, I guess I would say the food portion became more evident, and I became more aware of the different varieties of vegan food that are available that I really like. And I have a really open palate. You know, I think Irina asked me one time, so I do the meal plans, like, what, you know, which ones do you like best? You know, is there one that you don't like? And I like every single one of them. You know, I don't, you know, when I have my meal plans in the fridge, I'll pull out whatever one, and I don't have to look at the label and say, I don't want this today, you know. So I go ahead, I know I'm going to like it, and I eat it. So that kind of, I would say, started my journey into plant-based, and then right away, I shouldn't say right away, I would say within a month, I was able to go out, go mountain biking, go for a long ride, and the next day I'm like, wow, I feel fine. You know, I can go out for another ride. I mean, of course, I wouldn't go extreme riding every day or extreme running every day, but I had the energy to go ahead and go out and, you know, go ahead and do that again. So for me, it was first based on athletic, and it was based on my energy level. And then it became more. Then it became the environment. You know, it became, the energy or the lack of energy you get from like animal products, or not just a product itself, but the vibration, you know, that, you know, is in your body. And the negative vibration, I would say, when you do eat animal products, you know, so it was a slow process of different little segments that brought me to where I'm at right now. So it wasn't like a, you know, one shot deal. It's kind of like you do this, epiphany comes up, you know,
Of course,
earth,
it's a process.
animals, you know, now that I help raise my godsons, you know, it's also very important to set an example for them. So
Yes. Are you able to influence them? How do they respond?
well, you know, the easiest thing for me to, you know, influence is by example. You know, I've learned that, you know, if you kind of say, well, you should eat this or you need, you know, to me, it doesn't really work. I don't think it works. But for me, it's just example. So it'd be like, Uncle Freddie, what are you eating? You know, oh, you know, I'm eating this, you know, can I try it? Yeah. So, you know, sometimes a lot of my Purple Sprout meals get split into 3 people because they want to have some
Beautiful.
too, you know. And it's by being outside, you know, like the previous guest said, you know, you just got to get kids outside. You know, they are not meant, or any of us meant to be like indoor all day, staring at a screen. You know, so just getting them outside. So all the things that I enjoy doing, I bring them with me. You know, I buy bikes for them. I should say we got bikes for them, scooters. Last year, I took them took a paddle boarding lesson with them. They're into swimming, so pretty much, hiking, camping,
Yes.
and it's kind of interesting because when kids are young, you go ahead and you have that, you are an influence to them, and you don't think
Mhm.
that they are observing you or kind of like soaking any of this in because they're kind of like doing like their own thing, right? But then after a
Mhm.
couple of years, they're like doing what you were doing previously. So it gets like embedded in there somewhere, right? But it
Mhm.
doesn't come out for a while.
They're
So
like sponges. They soak everything in.
they
Yes.
soak, yeah, they
Yes.
soak it
Mhm.
in, but they don't. From what they don't take action on that right away, right?
Mhm.
So they'll
Mhm.
soak it
Mhm.
in, and then it might be a year or 2 years later and 3 years later where that what they soaked in earlier will become more evident to them, and where they will start utilizing it. So it's just a matter of patience. I found out it's patience. It's not really pushing them. It's setting examples, putting in little seeds, and not
Mhm.
expecting that seed like to grow like within a 2 week period or a month period. It might take a year, and then they'll come
Mhm.
back to that. Come back to
Mhm.
that. So
Wow, that's beautiful advice. That's beautiful advice. Instead of pushing someone, instead of insisting them on them doing something or changing their ways, just do your own thing and let people observe.
yeah,
And especially kids, they will follow in your footsteps.
yeah.
You are such an inspiration to our own boys.
Thank you.
They always, yes, you're such a role model. They always look forward to spending time with
Oh,
you.
that's great.
Um,
I'm honored.
Yes, like our older son, you took him on several biking trips. So at
Yes.
the age of 12, I think he did 24 miles with you. So
Yes.
that was quite
Yes.
an accomplishment. So
Yeah,
yes,
very
we are so
impressive.
grateful. We're so grateful you're in our lives, and I'm sure that your godsons love you to the moon and back.
Yeah, I love them. I mean,
Everything that you do for them.
they're such an important part of my life. I worked for Allstate for 35 years. I was in
Mhm.
IT, and then I was able to go ahead and semi-retire after 35 years and becoming 55. So I was very fortunate to be able to do that. And then also coincided with the mother needing help, with my godsons. So now that's pretty much I would say my full-time job. I'm consider myself a manny. Which is fantastic. Working in IT, was really a breeze compared to trying, helping with with a 9 and 11-year-old boy.
Compared to raising children, yes.
Yes, it is much more rewarding. It is. It is.
Anything pales in comparison. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So, and Purple Sprout has helped me out so much. The meal plans are fantastic. I mean, for me, several different things. One is just it's just very healthy, energy giving food for me. So that's a part of it, a part of it. Another part is it's delicious. I really enjoy, eating it every time, like when I'm out during the day, and it's always good to have something to look forward to during the day, I think. I always have to something to look forward to. And one of the things I look forward to is I'm going to have a purple sprout dinner. I'm going to have a purple sprout meal. I'm like, and then you mentioned this before, but Ayurvedic, Kareem. He has helped me so much, mentally, physically, when I have, some issues, having consultation with him, and even, helping me with questions I may have about my godsons, because, you guys are parents also. So there's different aspects of Purple Sprout that have really like elevated, I would say, like my health, wealth, not wealth, my health and fitness. And I also got to know the family real well because I volunteered for them. I volunteered at Purple Sprout, and I loved
Yes.
it. I love cutting
Thank
up
you. Thank you
vegetables.
for that.
It's
Yes.
one of the things I just love cutting, like helping in the kitchen. So no, I don't want to cut. My business is fantastic. Cleaning dishes. This is great. I love my dishes. So it's been a great journey with Purple Sprout. Definitely being a big part of me. Becoming plant based and more earth conscious, environmentally conscious, in all those respects.
And Freddie, you are such an important part of Purple Sprout and our family. So you're one of the kindest people I know. So
Thank you so much.
and just thank you so much for how you are inspiring people around you, especially inspiring your godsons, because the kids are the future of their families, of their family lineages, of the communities, of the countries, and of the entire planet.
Yeah,
So thank you
exactly.
so much.
And they're
Yes.
looking at careers into environment. They're looking, engineer into, what are we going to do with all this waste, that we're,
Yes.
creating right now. My young godson, he loves Earth Day. We go out, he sees me picking up, trash or plastic, and then now, he does that. Although the parents kind of go like, don't touch that. It's like garbage, it's plastic on the road. So now he's like picking it up and putting it in recycling. But yeah, and like you said, about I think kindness brings on kindness. You were very kind to me. So I think kindness kind of like has a domino, effect.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much for your impact, and thank you for your time today.
Oh, you're welcome. It was
Wishing
my
you all
pleasure.
the best. Thank
My
you.
pleasure. I'm very honored.
Thank you so much, Freddy. So, dear friends, this concludes our today's very long podcast, but we are very happy we got a chance to introduce all these wonderful people to you. And if you have any questions, please do reach out, info@purplesprout.com, or call us, follow us on social media, and of course, write comments under this video, because on our YouTube channel, because it's very important for us to grow our channel, and you can help by sharing this YouTube channel with others, by subscribing to our channel, and by also writing comments that are longer than 8 words. So thank you very much. We are happy to be here for you. We are happy to serve you in this capacity, happy to be able to have an opportunity to bring all this great, practical, wonderful, free content. So thank you. Thank you for your support, and much of love and gratitude. Bye bye.